Good evening. This was there to say, and briefly, I want to speak about Paul Pogba. As of right now, he's been placed on suspension for drug abuse, drugs cheating, 4 years. I'm not exactly sure what this substance, what the substance was, but um, obviously it's clearly a drug, a common drug, which is seen as given an advantage to athletes. I'm not sure how much of a impacts that taking substances has within football. There's been a few drug bans for footballers over the years. I think Diego Maradona, but that was more cocaine and other things. And then there's other footballers who've been suspended for drug use. And in Popper's case, it clearly was a case of um, the drug that he was taking is seen as a performance enhancer. So 4 years he's been given, which is I think pretty extreme. Um, I do expect it to be released to be reduced. I expect the 4 year sentence to be reduced. Um, for me, that's too harsh. That's too extreme. Um, you don't see that length of time being given for you know substance abuse. I haven't really seen it. It's pretty much unprecedented, very unprecedented. But that being said, Paul Pogba, I mean, his career is you could say that it's going down the drain because lots of things have happened since he went to Man U, where he was seen as, but he's clearly the best talented player, but the issue is that United weren't delivering, and he was their best player, but nothing was happening. No impact was being made. It got to the point where when Bruno Fernandes came to United, people were saying, or they were kind of coming up with this narrative that Bruno Fernandes is a better player or a better impact player than Pogba, because when Bruno Fernandes came in, United went on a winning streak game after game, but obviously that downplayed a lot of Bruno's limitations and weaknesses. Whereas Pogba's limitations were kind of over focused on, if that's a word. There was a lot of over like focusing on Pogba's limitations and what he wasn't doing for the team in comparison to Bruno Fernandes when he first came in. But now that's sort of changed in regards to Bruno, where I think we finally see how overrated he is. But that's for another day. Back to Pogba. So I think there's many fans out there that would say that he was a flop at United. For the price that he was bought for, he's seen as a flop by some fans. Um, I don't know if I subscribe to that sentiment. It was disappointing. I'll say that disappointing. Being a disappointment and a flop for me are two different things. And because I think he started at Man U. I think he was initially he was at the United Academy. Then went to Juve and won league titles, got to the Champions League final, which when Juve lost to Barcelona, the MSN trio. And then went to Man U for I think 80 to 90 million, and when he went to Man United, there was a massive commercial campaigns and promotion for it, but has it been? It wasn't a successful stint for him. He won a Europa League and League Cup, but that was pretty much it. And now he's at Juve and he's barely been seen. And I think from what I heard, he was recovering from an injury, which I mean nothing was officially clarified as to what injury he was suffering. I didn't saw that there was a lot of family issues with his brothers, allegedly putting a curse on him or something along those lines at least. So his personal life in terms of his family, it wasn't going great. It's been terrible, pretty chaotic, toxic to say the least. And now this ban of 4 years, I think he's won the World Cup. That's the highest honour or trophy that you could win when you're an international player, by far. So he's won a World Cup. He's won the Serie A, League Cup, Europa League. I'm sure I'm missing on some, but the fact is, you look back at his career. If he was to retire or retire soon after his 4-year ban, and that's if it's not reduced, that's it, and that's a big if, because I do think that ban will get reduced. But as of right now, we're going to look at his career as a waste, the same way as Neymar, the most talented player in his generation, but you feel like that he left a lot on the table, just like Neymar. Because at least with Neymar, he won Champions League, even though he wasn't the linchpin of the team. You could say that he's had a great career, but with him as well, it's always he could have done more after he left Barcelona, and that's the same thing with Pogba, if not so worse in a sense, because United wasn't a successful stint compared to Neymar's time at Barcelona, and he's going back to Juve, and he's barely played, barely been seen, and now this 4-year drug ban. It's unfortunate. Because objectively speaking, he is a talented player. He is world-class talent, without question. But a lot of things have happened, and so far, the way we're going to view his career, if this continues, well, if he's going to be banned, because he's 31 now, or 30, he's 31 years of age, or he's in his 30s, and if the ban remains, he'll be 35, 34 when the ban's over. And as a player, as a football player, that age is when you retire, or 34, 35 is the age where you are no longer in your prime. And as of right now, his prime career, Pogba's prime years in his career, he's supposed to be in his prime, but it's been chaotic, quite frankly, and with issues off the pitch with his family, injuries here and there, and now a 4-year drug ban. And like I said before, we're going to view his career as wasted, in a sense where we feel that as fans we should have seen more from him after he left Man U. When he initially came to Man U. So it's tough to say, but it's the reality. It's the sad reality. And yeah, that's how it is. Take care. God bless.